Y'all know what's going on. It's time for another episode of Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Baker, and welcome to the show, y'all. Look here. Cecil has decided to go to trial with it. They're going to court. And that's just what it is, right? Because he believes that if he can explain his case to a jury, that they'll understand and let him go home. He wants to go home and resume his life. He's 24 years old. He's a college student working on his master's. Never been in any trouble. Remember that. Never been in any trouble. He just wants to go home. His life has been thrown into shambles because he was trying to defend his friend. She was being harassed by somebody, and he wanted to make sure that she was going to be safe. So he was trying to defend her. But what it turned out to be was that he ended up getting into a fight with somebody. It got ugly. It got real ugly. And he did like a lot of people did. He ran and he scattered like a lot of other people did. But they ended up tracking him down, and it wasn't a situation where he thought that it was going to lead to something. The guy went to the hospital. He figured that because the guy was to blame, that it would be nothing and he would go on about his life and all this and that. And even if that wasn't the case, he didn't think that he would be going to jail once the police found out what happened. But he did. He has gone through the process. He's in the system now, and he's ready to go to trial. They wanted a trial. They get seated. They set the jury up. Everything is ready to go. In the opening statements, the district attorney gets up and he tells the jury that this young man, this college student, he's going to try to present himself as somebody that's never been in trouble, that deserves to be found not guilty for this violent assault with a deadly weapon. But the DA went on to say that, when Cecil was in high school, he had a problem with his temper, got into a lot of fights. But because of his privilege, they always got him out of it, you see. His father would always get him out of these problems with no consequence whatsoever. And today was going to be a combination of that. And that's what the DA wanted the jury to understand. Because all the things that he did when he was younger and he got out of it, it led to this. Him thinking that he could get away. And the DA told him if he's so innocent and not guilty of what it was, why did he run? Why did he run? And he says, as the case unfolded and I present this evidence to you, I want you to consider that he ran. He ran. And then Cecil's lawyer gets up and he explains and tells the jury that Cecil is the victim here. He was trying to defend his friend, his female friend that was being harassed by this drunken stranger. See, Cecil was the good guy. He had been the designated driver. College students drink. We all know that, his lawyer told the jury. But he's the more responsible one. So every time that his friends went out, he would be the one that would go and make sure that they got home safe. So he thought he was doing what he was supposed to be doing when this drunken, violently acting man was trying to talk to this college student and wouldn't take no for an answer. And when he told him to leave and back off, excuse me, y'all. When he told him to leave and back off, the man hit him. Hit him so hard it knocked him to the ground. And when it knocked him to the ground, he defended himself. And because he hadn't been in a situation like that, he was afraid. Did he overreact? Maybe. But did he do what any of us would have done? That's what the lawyer told the jury. He wanted to make sure that he was going to be safe and that his friends were going to be safe. And then when his lawyer sat down, the state presented their first witness. Their first witness was the victim, the guy that wouldn't take no for an answer. And as he sat on the stand, see, time had passed, right? So he didn't have any bandages on, but you could see the scar on his jaw and the stitches it looked like a tattoo that the Joker would have on his face. You know what I'm saying? The Joker and Batman. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And the DA had him turn so that you could see it, so that the jury could get a good look at it. And as they explained and described what was happening, the victim was telling them that he had told, you know what I'm saying, Cecil that he didn't want any trouble. And he put his hands up. And that he didn't hit him. See, it wasn't no camera that could catch that angle when he threw the first punch. But for some reason, it caught the other ones. And they caught them fighting. But see, the crowd, the way the crowd was, that first lick that was thrown, it was all in the question now. Because Cecil said he hit him first. They could see him grabbing the beer cup, but they couldn't see why he was getting up off the ground. They could see that he was getting up off the ground, though. So you could assume that he had gotten knocked down. That's what the story said, but the guy said he didn't hit him. He said he didn't hit him. He was trying to leave. And all of a sudden, he gets hit. And then he chases him down. And they see this. They see it. And the next witness that gets called to the stand is his friend, the female. She gets on the stand, and she's afraid now. She's afraid that everybody's going to blame her for what happened. So she testifies that she didn't want that. She didn't want him to fight him. She could handle herself. But nobody said that night. So now he's standing there and sitting there and he's looking at her and he's wondering what is going on. Again, perception is reality. See, when a person sees you do something, especially something like that, it spooks them. See, you're not the hero. You're not Superman. See, when that dog comes out and people see it, they don't want to see that. They'll start saying, he didn't have to do that. He could have done something else. Because they are afraid. So now when his lawyer gets up and he cross-examines both of them, he asks the guy that says he's the victim, what was he talking to the girl for? Did he know her? He said, no, he didn't know her. How many times did she have to tell him to leave? He said, I don't know. I can't remember. He says, were you drunk? And he told him, yes, I was drunk. But I knew that I didn't want to fight him. I tried to get away. He wouldn't stop. He just kept coming. He said, so did you hit him at all? And he said, yeah, I think I did. He said, so it's conceivable that you did knock him down. He said, I'm not sure. I think I might have just tried to defend myself. He's all over the place with it. But the video shows him being beaten. So now he talks to the girl. And she's afraid and she's thrown off. She don't really know what to say. And she's trying to find a way to help him but not hurt him. But she don't know what to do. She don't want to be blamed because now everybody is saying, you got Cecil in trouble. But she wants it to be all Cecil. She didn't ask him to do that. Not that. Not that. But again, things happen. Things happen. So after they finish testifying, Cecil's lawyer, he brings in different people to testify to, Cecil's reputation in high school and all this, trying to rebuff all of the things that were said. And they brought in some of the high school teachers and they said that, yeah, he had anger management problems at that time, but all of that worked out and he grew to become a responsible young man in the community, somebody that could be looked up to, and went on off to college to become a success. And his goal and his dream in life was to become a professor and teach at the college. And they were all proud of him. And when they were asked by the lawyer and the district attorney, did they see this coming? They was like, no. So nobody could explain it. So it should have been a one-off. But it wasn't. Now it's time for the jury to take the case into the deliberations. And if you want to know how that unravels, you're going to have to tune in to the next episode, right? Because, man, here we go. It's been another episode of Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Baker, and I say peace, y'all.
I'm getting